This week, I am going to try to get myself back on track. I've gone through a list I made with my trusty clipboard of what my overall priorities are, and I've identified 3 things that I want to spend time with immediately to try to get done, because I really feel like I've fallen behind, and in some cases, really behind. And I've lost some momentum. So I want to try to get some momentum back so I can try to start finishing some of these things and get them out. 1, because I'm excited about them, and 2, just so I can move on to the next thing. And for whatever reason, my momentum is just completely stalled. So this week, that's all going to change. So I've got 3 things that I'm going to focus on. 2 of them are kind of similar, and 1 is completely different, going to use a completely different part of the brain. So I'm really going to try and manage myself so I get the most out of the time that I spend on each of these tasks. Now, the first one I'm going to start with is kind of the elephant in the room for me, because there's been a roadblock or mental roadblock for me to try and finish this. And that's the string parts for one of the songs for the next EP. I have it started. I have not been able to get any further on it. I am now several months behind on where I wanted to be with them. And this week, I got to figure out a way to get past this mental roadblock that I have. And one of the things I'm going to try to do that, and this is one of the second thing that I'm going to add in, or maybe actually be the first thing, I don't know, is just some pure writing. I'm going to go through my ideas folder. I'm going to swap out some pedals out on the piano and just see if by not focusing on a specific song, I can just kind of open up some ideas and then maybe come back to it. I don't know. Haven't tested that yet, but that's going to be one of the things I'm going to try. But I'm going to start with the elephant in the room, for me anyway, and that is finishing these string parts. Okay, one thing I noticed as I started to write the violin and viola parts to go around my initial cello part that I wrote is that I had way too many notes in the cello part, and it became distracting as I tried to fit my violin and viola ideas around that. So what I did was go through the whole thing, and I did this off camera because this took me a little while. I went through the whole song and I just started removing notes and try to make it easier for the violin, viola, and cello to fit together over the piano. And I think it's getting much better now. So kind of like in this section right here. In the end, it was probably good that I had some time between writing the initial cello parts and tonight. It made it easier for me to hear what I wanted to add or change, and it also made it easier to get into a groove. And although I want to get this song done and get the string players in and ultimately get this EP done, I'm probably going to set this aside for a few days or a week and come back one more time with fresh ears and do a few tweaks. But it's close. Delilah, girl, should we go get a treat? Wanna go get a treat? All right. There we go. Back to work. For the past year, year and a half, maybe a little bit more, I've had pretty much the same effects pedal setup here for my piano rig. And it's time that I change up the sonic buffet a little bit. I've pretty much used my Electro Harmonix Lester K and S9. The Lester K is fantastic. Can't recommend this pedal enough. And those would feed the Boss RE202 Space Echo. These are all great pedals. There's a ton you can do with them, and I will obviously continue to use them, but I kind of found myself coming up with the same type of ideas over and over, and it was time for a change. So I'm gonna set these over here, over there to the side for now. And here's what I'm gonna go with to see if I can spark some new ideas. A good old Boss chorus pedal, a Boss reverb, the RV6, which is fantastic. And the newest addition to the arsenal here is the monumental harmonic tremolo from Walrus Audio. I'm really digging that pedal. It's giving me a whole new texture to play with, which is really cool. In the past, when I've needed new ideas, like changing sounds up, just trying something completely different, has been a great way to spark new ideas, get some creativity going. and I'm hoping that's exactly what's going to happen now.